Hi friends, I welcome you all at Crack Grade B in the video lecture series of Agriculture and Rural Development. Today we are going to cover soil erosion, and this topic is very important for your NABARD grade A exam phase 1 and phase 2. Actually, what is the meaning of this soil erosion? Soil erosion is the process by which soil is removed from the earth's surface by the exogenetic process such as wind or water flow and then transported and deposited in other location. This is a better example of this water erosion. You will see in this figure that rainfall is falling upon the surface. The soil particle is detaching from its parent material or topography. Then the soil particles are taken by this running water. This is called the soil transportation, second stage, and in the last stage, third stage, the deposition is taking place from another location, from this location to the another location. And soil erosion is happened due to the exogenetic forces. The better example of this exogenetic forces is weathering. What are the endogenetic forces? The endogenetic forces, better example is volcano. So the soil erosion takes place due to the exogenetic force. Now we can classify this soil erosion in three sections. The first one is the water erosion, the second one is the wind erosion, and the third one is the chemical or geological erosion. Now we'll see different types of erosion in detail. The first one is the geological erosion. If you will see this figure, then these are some factors which contribute in the soil formation. So geological phenomena or geological erosion is totally depends upon these factors. The first one is the climate, organisms like earthworm. The second one is the parent material. The soil is type like sedimentation, sedimentary soils, the granite soils. The time is also contributing, and the last one is the topography. So the geological erosion can also be called as a natural or normal erosion. Now what are the effects of this geological erosion? The effects are these types of erosion contribute to the formation of the soil and their distribution on the earth's surface. So we can say that the soil formation and the distribution on the surface, the geological erosion is due to the geological erosion. The most important point is that the geological erosion is a long time eroding process. We can say that the time factor is most important in the geological erosion. The better example for this geological erosion is here. The various topographical features such as the existence of stream channels, valleys, etc. are the result of the geological erosion. Now the wind erosion. Go by the words. If you see, the wind erosion is the detachment, transportation and redeposition of the soil particles by the wind. But how much wind we require? If a question comes in your mind, so you can easily identify that the wind which is flowing with less than 12 to 90 km per hour speed, then there will be no any wind erosion. And if the wind attain a forward velocity of 25 to 30 km per hour of speed, then we can say that wind erosion can take place. So the velocity requirement of 25 to 30 km per hour of speed is required for the wind erosion in any soils. Areas affected are where the low rainfall areas are mostly affected and the soil which contain moisture at wilting point. What is the meaning of this wilting point? Kindly comment in our comment box. And what are the results? The results are the top soils loss can be seen as rocky, gravelly knolls, thin soils mixed with lighter colored subsoils, and if you find the presence of calcium carbonate in the subsurface, then you can say that the wind erosion is happening in your soil. What is the effect of this wind erosion on productivity? The wind erosion removes the smaller clay particles and organic matter from the soil while coarser particles are left behind. This is the very simple concept. The larger particles and smaller particles, if you see, then the wind have not any kinetic energy or power to move this particle easily, but this small particle can be taken away by this wind easily from its place to another place. The continued loss of the fine particles reduce soil quality also, and the most important thing is in shallow soils with a hard pan layer, wind erosion also result in the decreased root zone depth and water holding capacity. So this is the effect of wind erosion on the productivity. If you want to understand the process of this wind erosion, you can easily understand this process from this figure. This is the first process, it is called saltation. This is the second process, this is called suspension, and this is the third process, it is called creep. What is the meaning of this saltation? Saltation is occurs when the wind lifts larger particles off the ground for shorter distance and leading to sand drifts, but fine and medium sand sized particles are lifted a short distance into the air, dislodging more soils as they fall back to the ground. What about this suspension? Suspension occurs when the wind lifts finer particles into the air, leading to the dust storms, and very fine particles are lifted from the surface by the impact of the saltation and carried high into the air and remaining suspended in air for the long distance. You can see in this figure, it is taken by the air and it is putting this particle here for the long distance. Now what about the surface creep? Actually, the movement of the large soil particles along the surface of the soil after being loosened by the impact of the salting particles. So you can say that these large particles are moving from this place to this place to this place with the help of the creep. So these are the process for the wind erosion. Now water erosion, actually in water erosion, the water act as the agent to dislodge and transport the eroded soil particles from the one location to another location. The process can be understood from this figure. The rainfall is falling upon this surface and these small particles are splashing. You can see here these particles, and these particles are carried away by the generating runoff. Here these are the small soil particles. It is taken by the runoff water, flowing water, and if you see, this whole process can be described in three sections. The first is detachment, the second is transport, and the third is deposition. In detachment, the water is falling, the particle is moving. In transport, the water and soil particles are carried by this flowing water, and the last one is deposition, the deposition of the soil particles here. What about the classification of this water erosion? Actually, it is a classification. You can classify the water erosion into these sections. One is splash erosion, sheet erosion, rill erosion, gully erosion, tunnel erosion, stream bank erosion, and the last one is coastal erosion. So we will learn about these all types of erosion in detail. The splash erosion can also be defined as the first stage of the soil erosion by the water. What happens? The kinetic energy of the falling raindrop dislodge the soil particles and the resultant runoff transport soil particles. Here in this figure, the rainfall, the dislodged particles, and it is taken by the flowing water and transporting this particle from this place to the another place. Now what happened, these splash particles can rise up to a height of 0.06 meter above the ground, and it can be moved up to the 1.5 meter from the point of impact. What is the after effect of this splash erosion? The particles block the space between the soil aggregates so that the soil form a crust that reduce the infiltration and increase runoff. This is the after effect of this splash erosion. The process of splash erosion can be understood from this figure. The water raindrop is coming from cloud and putting at this place, and these particles are taken by the runoff water from this place to another place. What happens actually, the kinetic energy of the falling raindrop dislodges the soil particles and the resultant runoff and the transported salt particles. In this figure you can see, and in previous figure you can easily understand, raindrop kinetic energy is dislodging these particles, and this is taken away by the flowing water from one place to the another place. And these particles jump up to the 0.60 meter and travel the distance of 1.5 meter from the point of impact. This is the splash erosion. Now what about the sheet erosion? Actually in sheet erosion, skimming takes place. What is the meaning of this skimming? The removal of the soil in the thin layers by a raindrop impact and the shallow surface flow. You can easily understand from this figure, this is a sheet erosion. A sheet is eroded with the help of the water from this surface. If we consider this is the main soil and this is the eroded soil, or we can say that this is a sheet erosion. What are the effect? It lost the finest soil particles that contain most of the available nutrients and organic matter. If you understand a soil, then the uppermost part is important for any soil, and it consists of nutrients and organic matters. And this is taken away by the water in the form of the sheet erosion. Most vulnerable, overgrazed and cultivated soil are the most vulnerable for this sheet erosion. What are the early signs? How can you determine that sheet erosion is taking place at any field? That bare areas, water pudding as soon as the rain falls, visible grass roots, exposed trees roots and exposed subsoils are the early signs for the sheet erosion in any field. What are the rill erosion? The rill erosion are the shallow drainage line less than the 30 centimeter deep and the 50 centimeter wide. If you see in this figure, this is 50 centimeter wide and the 30 centimeter deep. If you find these types of erosion in any field, you can easily understand this is a rill erosion. And what is how this rill erosion develop? They develop when surface water concentrate in depression or low point through paddocks and erode the soil. Most vulnerable are overgrazed and freshly cultivated soils. Most affected soils are rill erosion is mostly occurs in alluvial soil. So alluvial soils are found in a big quantity in our country. So we can say that any type of water erosion is very harmful for our country or for our soils. Remedy: the rills can usually be removed with the farm's machinery. Now what are the gully erosion? The difference you can identify easily when I will explain you the gully erosion. If you find the 50 centimeter wide and 50 centimeter deep of any erosion, then you will say that this is gully erosion. So this is the basic difference between a gully erosion and a rill erosion. The depth is 30 centimeter and in this case the depth is 50 centimeter. What is the problem with this gully erosion? Gully erosion reduces the productivity of the farmland, where they are incised into the land and they produce sediment that may clog downstream of the water bodies. Actually what happens, if you find that dispersive soils are poorly structured, and if the water is flow in this section, then this dispersive soil and the loose particles are taken away by this water flowing in this section, or we can say that if any vegetation is found in this area and it is loosened due to some cracks, due to some other reason, Then if the water is flowing from this area, then it will also take away some soil from this area, and this gully erosion form after the soil which is taken by the water. So this is the process. Now what about this tunnel erosion? Tunnel erosion occurs when surface water moves through dispersive subsoils. This is a dispersive subsoils. The most important point to be noted here is that tunnel erosion occurs in the foothills where the elevation is 500 to 700 meters. Now what about this stream bank erosion? It occurs when stream begins cutting deeper and more wider channel as a consequence of increased peak flow. You can easily see here is that if a river is flowing in this direction and the flow of the water or speed of the water will increase, then it will take some soil from this area with them. So what happened? The soil will remove from this area and it will taken away by this flowing water. So this is the stream bank erosion. Sometimes this soil is taken by this the stream and the vegetation loosens and the vegetation fall in this river. So it also affects the vegetation which is grown at the bank of the river. The most vulnerables are meandering nature of stream, where streams have been channelized, or stream bank structure like bridges, culverts are located in place where they can actually cause damage to the downstream areas. Mostly affected soils, alluvial soils, because in India most of the rivers flow into Gangetic plain, Yamuna plain and somewhere else. So you can say that this is the alluvial soil and it is also taken by our river systems. How can you solve this problem? What is the remedy of this stream bank erosion? Stabilizing these areas can help protect water courses from continued sedimentation, damage to the adjacent land uses, and control unwanted meander and improvement of habitat for the fish and wildlife. These are some remedies which can be taken for stream bank erosion. The last one is the coastal erosion. The coastal erosion is happened with the help of the wave, geology and geomorphology. What waves done? The waves strike this area, they take in some soil from this area with them, the soil particles move from this area to here, so the soil erosion can take place with the help of the wave. What about the geology of the coastline? How this geology affect this area? The geology of the coastline also affect the rate of the erosion. If the coast is made of the more resistant type of rock, say granite, if you find the granite here, wave will strike, then there will be low rate of erosion in case of granite, but in case of boulder clay or less resistant type of rock, the more erosion will take place. The geomorphology or shape of the coastline further affect the rate of the erosion. These are the three factors which affect the coastal erosion. So friends, this was all from my side today. I will come up with some multiple choice question which topic I have covered in my lecture series. We will solve some multiple choice question based upon this topic which we have already covered in our previous section. So till then, thank you and happy learning.